Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome. Welcome back or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos or on my live feeds, all you got to do is take what resonates and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. So guess what, you guys? I got a new laptop. It was finally ready for pickup yesterday, and this is the first time I'm using it. So if there's anybody listening, if you can just, oh, hi there, Wesley. Wesley, do I sound okay? How's the feed look from your end? Brand new laptop with some new equipment, and that was a really interesting situation to be in with my laptop. It's actually quite funny. Looks great. Thanks so much, Wes. So I'll give you a little bit of an update on what happened with my other laptop. I was using a little Acer. I have little to no knowledge about computer technology, so when I purchased it, I thought I was purchasing something that was going to do me quite well. So the laptop started acting up. Good morning, everybody coming in. The laptop started acting up last week, and I took it in to have it looked at a computer shop. And the lovely gentleman there, I shared a little bit of the story last week, was like shocked that it was actually functioning with the way it had been functioning for the last 2 years. Apparently, my little laptop was only ever meant to look up email and kind of, look on the internet and kind of just light stuff. I mean, here I've been using it for a couple years, uploading YouTube videos and going live. And the computer tech guy there said, I don't know how this is happening. There's got to be something going on with your laptop. And we had this whole discussion. So anyway, I started shopping around and was able to find a laptop. I manifested a really good deal on a laptop. I said to Spirit, I don't want to pay over this amount, so help me out. I found a laptop. So I brought in my old laptop to do like a data transfer. And the young gentleman at Geek Squad, again, was really, really shocked at how my little laptop that doesn't have any Intel in it was doing what it was doing. And he was shocked at his capabilities, and his exact words were and he didn't know who I was unless he looked me up online. I don't think he knew who I was. His exact words were, I think this little laptop is haunted. And I lost it right there in the store. I was like laughing uncontrollably, and I said, you're probably right. I think that Spirit has been helping me for 2 years with this old little laptop. And then we had this full-on discussion about what I do, and it was just it was really funny. Maybe you had to be there. But anyway, here I am. Kayla, I can't wait for our reading on Wednesday. Oh, bless your heart. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Wesley, the old laptop, let's make that poor Intel just really close to an Intel Core i3, just enough to keep going smoothing. Yeah, so here I am on my Intel Core i7. And Wesley, thank you so much for helping me navigate through some choices. It was like having you shopping with me as I have no idea what I'm doing. So here we are. Monday morning, February 6th, and the energy is a little bit all over the map. I don't know if some of you have noticed a lot about the energy going on lately over the weekend. So we just had, last night was the full moon. I was hoping to get on a line and talk about that full moon a bit over the weekend, but it didn't happen. So here I am talking about the energy of the snow full moon that was full last night, and the energy that it's bringing in. There's a little bit of some emotional stuff going on. So if anybody been feeling like really, really high and happy one minute, and then all of a sudden feeling that crash down and some emotions, or just not quite sure how you're feeling, there's been a little bit of a pull with this full moon to kind of have a look at our emotions, even when we don't understand them. 100% says KS. Yeah, 100%. Even when we don't understand our emotions, what this moon is saying is have a little peek and just feel through some of it, and just simply allow yourself to look in the mirror and to have those feelings and to kind of sit in that. Now, we are in a full moon of Leo, and Leo is larger than life when we're in a full moon. Leo rules our big emotions. So you may feel a little extra sensitive this week. You may be feeling a little bit overjoyed. Things maybe bringing you like that excitement feeling. It might go either way for many of you. I was feeling a little bit of that yesterday. I was really, really excited. And then I was kind of like flatline. Then I get really, really excited. And then I was kind of like flatline. So, if that is kind of what we're going to see this week, is a little bit of that, and a little bit of, uncertain where our ground is. Like I just felt a little bit uncertain where the ground is, a little bit not feeling quite grounded, not feeling quite sure, a little bit of a hard time making some decisions. That is the full moon and the energy that Leo is bringing in. Big, big energy. So if you're already sensitive, if you're already a sensitive person, one thing that I would turn up the volume on this week, 100%, is get yourself a little bit more grounded with some spiritual practices, a little bit more time outside, a little bit more time meditation, a little bit more time journaling, whatever resonates with you. It's time to turn up the volume this week. Now, one really cool thing about Leo is Leo is a big part of our inner child, and the inner child energy is going to be quite loud, quite in our face this way, to engage in magical moments. We're being asked to come into that childlike space within our heart this week as well. There's a sense of spirited enjoyment. There's just like this energy of being able to lean into splashing in puddles, being able to lean in and perhaps coloring something. Our inner child's asking to move in this next week to bring in that playfulness, and it's to help balance some of that energy, some of those emotions, especially those of you who may be feeling, I don't know why I'm agitated, or I don't know why I'm upset, or I really don't know what's wrong. When we truly, I don't know what's wrong with me. I felt a lot of that this week, and it's coming up with emotion, that inner child wanting to come out and exercise. We all have that inner child within us. Our inner child does like to come out and play and be exercised. And for many of us, that inner child's going to lead us into new directions. It's going to take us into a little bit of a transformation, into a beautiful space. And sometimes you may feel a little bit silly with bringing out that inner child. That is a big part of the essence of who you are. So allowing that inner child to have moments of playfulness. And sometimes our inner child wants to have a temper tantrum, and our inner child wants to be heard. That is going to be a big, big part of this week. And I really felt it into next week as well. I really felt that inner child energy wanting to come out, wanting to play, wanting to cleanse, wanting to heal with you. I really felt that. So it's going to be very, very interesting what the next 2 weeks is going to feel like for many of us with that whole inner child energy going on. Cheyenne, when you talk about big emotions and children, it makes sense. I think the two together, since kids do tend to feel big emotions. Absolutely. So that's a really, really good point. And children are affected by energy just as we are. So you may be seeing some of this, in children as well. 100%. If you're a teacher or work with children and you're watching this, you may see some of that in their energy, in their behaviors as well, because they are affected by energy too. And children, also are going through their own growth. They're going through their own healing. There's a lot of healing with our children and our youth right now that they're navigating through. And they're also paving, and I've talked about this before, our youth are paving the way for transformation of us collectively. They've been paving the way for a little while, and they have to go through a lot of their own processing and clearing and being able to tap into, what's going on with them too. Sandra, I could use more playfulness. That's interesting. I felt drawn to crafts on Friday. Yes, inner child. That's right. For the first time in ages, I used to love making crafts as a kid. Sandra, so you're feeling what's going on energetically here with this full moon of Leo and that inner child. Inner child work. Let's just talk about inner child work for a minute, because it is a great topic. Sorry, I just need a sip of my tea. We all have that inner child within us, and our inner child has had many experiences. And our inner child, sometimes we hold that inner piece of our inner child down. Quite often there's some healing work that needs to be done there. Quite often it's just simply the vibration of play. Even though we're adults, we still need that playful energy. It's so important, to help navigate us through this physical world. I like to take out my inner child quite often, usually daily. I like to bring her out and play. Life is so serious, and there's a lot of heaviness going on, and that gets really heavy to carry as an adult. So tap into that inner child and let that piece of you come out and bloom and transform into glorious new directions. The vibration of play can bring us into many new directions. And how is that? When we're playful, we get inspired. Just think about that for just a moment. If you're really serious, or too much in the physical world and just kind of robotic or autopilot, the opportunity to be inspired, the opportunity to go into new directions, the opportunity to shift and listen to yourself isn't as loud when we're in that space. We can't be creative when we're not taking a pause and to give ourselves time to be creative. And when you think about creative energy, when you think about creative energy, when you're feeling creative or inspired, what does that feel like? It feels really good. It feels quite playful. You feel alive when you're inspired. So how do you get there? Play. And whatever play means to you, whatever brings you to that place. It's going to be a very interesting couple of weeks energetically. It feels very good and very high energy for me. And it does feel like it's going to have its moments of ups and downs, like quite often it does anyway. I always kind of feel that. Like, I think with most moon cycles, there is that up and down feeling. There's that emotional release. There's that space of healing and letting go. Is across the board for every full moon, I feel anyway. And that's kind of what I like to lean into with the full moon, because it kind of helps me have a sit down and say, you know what, Lana, you need to need to kind of work on that, or give it to the full moon, or recharge under the full moon. So if full moon energy works for you, works and resonates with you, I really suggest that you try and play. The other thing that I forgot to mention is there is also this space this week and into next week where we're going to feel more pulled to speak from our heart, with to really speak how we're feeling, to really verbalize with emotion what's going on in our heart. And the reason is again, it's part of that inner child space. When you think about children, for the most part, they're especially the littles, they're really good at expressing how they're feeling, right? They'll, whether it be through tears or whether it be through laughter or joy, they're really good at speaking that. So we are going to feel pulled. If you're feeling pulled to really share how you're feeling in the next week or two, that's your heart space and the inner child there, that's asking to be able to speak from that. Somewhere along most of our paths, we were, for many of us, maybe not all, but for many of us, as we grew up, quite often speaking wasn't always a safe thing to do, or perhaps we just weren't taught how to share our feelings, or perhaps it was something as simple as we just weren't asked. Like somebody, I said something to somebody, how are you doing? And I sat down and I made eye contact and I listened, and this person said to me, most people ask that, like, how are you? But they keep walking. They keep walking, or they don't have the intention of really listening on who you are. And this person said to me, I no one's really asked that and sat down to hear my response since I was quite young. I can't even remember the last time somebody sat down and asked me. So when you think about that for a moment, if you haven't had a chance to really speak your feelings from your heart in a while, or if that's a little bit difficult for you to do, this next 2 weeks is going to be a very interesting space. You're going to feel pulled there. And when we're pulled there, and if you're uncomfortable from speaking there, you might get a little bit of resistance from your brain with, is it safe to share? Do I want to open up that heart space? Do I really want to be vulnerable? Vulnerable is a big word when it comes to speaking. It's a big energy to kind of lean in there. What's very interesting is that I've been feeling just like wanting to be alone lately. I'm curious how that taps into my inner child. It could make sense for me. Sometimes we do need time alone. We quite often we do need time to. In my one of my lives last week, I talked about retreating. So if you didn't catch that live, go back and have a little listen. I felt that there was going to be a little bit of a retreat, wanting some time alone, wanting our own space to process, and that's very much okay. If you're feeling pulled to give yourself some time alone, you need to take it. 100%. I hate when people do that. I never ask how someone is unless I really mean it. Absolutely. And I don't think it's an intentional thing with people. Like, I don't think they, like, I don't think for the most part it's intentional where they don't really care about the answer. I just think it's like a habit. Some of the phrases that we use are habit, and we don't follow through with, the other side of the question that we're asking. Like, how are you? How you doing? As we keep walking, because we assume the answer is going to be, "Hey, I'm great." And sometimes people are great, but sometimes they're not. So if you're going to I'm really careful when I ask that question. If I'm going to ask someone how they're doing, I make sure that I've got that moment to sit and listen on how they're doing. Right. So, the speaking piece, the inner child piece, this whole emotional up and down piece, it's going to bring us into some great spaces because, again, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, for those of us who are willing to do the work this year, there's going to be a lot of spiritual awakening and a lot of spiritual growth. Horizon Phoenix, how was your weekend, Lana? My weekend was quite interesting. Thank you for asking. A lot going on for me on the weekends. I've got, a little bit of work, a little bit of play, a little bit of kids stuff going on. But overall, it was a good weekend sorting out technology. I was really grateful to get this technology piece sorted out. So yes, here I am. Now I got some videos that I have to upload and get caught up on. But I am a little bit behind. Okay, so that is what I have to say about the energy update. I am going to scroll through a few questions. We'll do a little bit of question and answers. I'll get to as many as I can. I do have clients this morning. I start at 9:30, and I still have to go into my meditative state with the energy of my clients. So, but let's scroll back up here and have a wee look. Okay. Wesley, yes, I am not using the new webcam yet. I'm just using the camera, Wesley, that's in on the laptop. So I think it is much better. But when I get that new camera hooked back up to this one, okay, it'll probably be much better. Okay, I've answered those. I have learned that energy greatly affects electronic devices. My energy seems to drain them very quickly. That is a very good point. Maybe my energy was charging my laptop. Yeah, I should do a whole video on that laptop with the specs and everything on that old laptop. It's a funny little story. Okay. Chloe Bell, definitely the vibe. My cycle was in sync with the full moon to this month. Jennifer Krause, excited and exhausted. Yeah, there's that up and down. I really appreciate you sharing me how you're sharing your feelings here on the live feeds. It just gives me a little smidgen of validation that what I'm picking up is quite collective. So it's really good that you help me out like that. Okay, I'm just gonna scroll through and take some questions that I haven't. Chaos. Oh man, my little self was frustrated this weekend. Time to play. 100%. A few of you are mentioning some playfulness. You were, yeah, caught you for once. It's almost midnight here. Well, thank you, Crystal Hearted Dragon. I love that. I love your name, your YouTube name. I love that, Crystal Hearted Dragon. I love that. Last night, I think I had spirit activity in my house. My electronics stopped working and I heard a big bang. I'm a Leo. It must be a sign for me to play. I really feel, Kayla, that is definitely a sign for you to listen to how you, I feel like it's a sign when I lean in there. I just lean in there a little bit to listen to how you're feeling. So I'm not sure if you've been kind of like putting off how you're feeling or kind of not wanting to sit with how you're feeling, but I feel that the vibration of play is loud and clear. Good morning, Diane. Thanks for joining us. There's no need to be sorry for being late. You can pop in and out whenever you wish. Okay, Cheyenne. What's very interesting is that I've been feeling like I just wanting to be alone. Okay, I read that one. Okay. Romina. My mom got her arm hurt. She's at the doctor's right now. Some encouraging words to her from spirit. I don't feel terrible with this arm. So I'm sure it does hurt. I don't feel terrible with this arm. I think that it's going to be better quite quickly. I will send some energy absolutely her way. I don't feel terrible with it. I do feel though, has mom been quite busy lately though? Is she normally quite busy? As I do feel her kind of like slowing down a little bit, but it feels like she needs to kind of slow it down a little bit, if that makes sense as well. Thanks, Lana. I was doubting about the feeling of wanting to be alone today because I'm feeling guilty towards my boyfriend about it. You got to put that down. Taking a little bit of time for ourselves is so important. It's we need to. Sometimes we like to be in packs or as a couple, and sometimes we need to be alone. We we sometimes get conditioned, let's be honest here, to be all things to all people at all times. And sometimes we do feel bad or feel guilty for not being able to always show up for everybody all the time. Um, I'll tell you what I do, which has helped me ease into putting down feeling bad for not being available for people. In my Google Calendar, I insert blocks of time that are just mine, and I also put it in my the family schedule as well. So I people know when I need to be alone, and I communicate that quite clearly. And I think sometimes we have to get better at communicating to people in our lives what we need, because sometimes we don't, right? So if people don't know what we need, it's kind of hard for them to respect that if they don't know what we need. You can't respect what you don't know. So I think being very clear, that I this is what I need right now, and inserting it, and kind of, I don't sometimes you have to teach people, right? Sometimes you have to teach people how to treat you or what you need. And that's the greatest gift that you can give to people, is just being open and honest, and this is what I need right now. And it has, people always say, oh, is it me, is it me? Just being able to insert that, I think will help. You will find that very helpful. Sandra, I'm not too pressed about this since I'm getting help soon, but wondering if there's a message about my health. Sandra, I'm not worried about your health. I'm not too worried about your health. I actually, what I do feel about your health is I feel like your health is going to be taking a very different spin. I feel like it's going to become more of a priority, but in a good way. I feel that it's almost like a shift into a different type of wellness. I feel you've always done your best to lean into that, but I feel you're just going to turn up the volume on it. But it doesn't feel like it's in a bad way. It feels like it's in a good way for me. I hope that resonates with you. Um, Let me just scroll here. Rowena, all the time, she doesn't know how to slow down. She's getting better at it. And yeah, I think I'm more stressed about her arm than she is. I'm not worried about her arm at all. I really think that with that arm, I really feel it's just a slowdown for her. She needs to slow down. And here's an interesting thing. Sometimes when we don't listen to spirit, so if spirit's telling me, and this has happened to me before, I'll use me as an example. Spirit has told me before, take a break. Take a break, take a break, take a break, take a break. And I kept pushing through, pushing through, pushing through. Sometimes tired, sometimes not eating properly, sometimes not honoring my physical body the way that I should, whether it be not enough water. And I'll hear spirit say, take a break, and the messages will come in different ways. People will tell me to slow down. My admin will say, Lana, I think you need a couple days off. And then if I don't listen, what spirit says is, okay, how about we turn that volume up? And I will literally get sat down either, and it's funny, I'll twist my ankle. I'll get some cancellations of a workshop, or a booking. And I'll be like, what the heck's going on? And I go and I sit in my meditation, and and spirit's like, I can hear them laughing. And I'm like, well, what's so funny? And spirit's like, we told you to slow down, and you didn't listen here, and you didn't listen here, and you didn't listen here. So how about you listen now? I feel very similar, Romina, to just your mom's just being asked to slow down, just to kind of not just to kind of shift it a little bit, and kind of look after herself. Jennifer Kraus, my boy is sore from his tournament this weekend. We're resting today. Will this be enough? I do feel it'll be enough. I do think that he'll be a little bit sore maybe tomorrow, but I do think that it'll be enough. I also feel he really needs an all about me day, like that special me day, as well as recovering from the tournament. I had a tournament last weekend, and Jen, I know you will totally understand this, and anybody who's got kids in sports, or if you've been in tournaments yourself, they're exhausting. It's energetically exhausting. You play, and you're playing to have fun, and you're playing to win, and then you make it to the finals. Energetically, it's also tired, Jen. We in our last tournament last weekend, we went right to the final undefeated, and we lost in a shootout. And I wasn't 5 minutes out of that arena, and just energetically drained with the anticipation of what's happening. I just feel he needs a special me day, Jen, and he's going to be just fine to recover and to recoup. We put a lot in. I don't think, Jen, I also have to keep talking here about this. I don't really feel necessarily it's all physical energy as well. I think there's that emotional piece, just the vibration of doing your best in that high alignment of striving to be best, striving to win, and striving to do better. That pulls energy too. So energetically for me, I think that he's a little bit out of gas in his gas tank as well. All right, let's see a couple more questions here. I'm certainly communicating it to him. I always have. He just tends to be afraid. I close myself off due to a lot of feelings since I tend to do that a lot. Oh, stay open. Stay open and say, here's what I do with the boundaries. I keep my boundaries and I share my expectations and this is what I need but I don't pick up if somebody else has a problem with that. I don't pick it up. So if someone that I love is feeling, just is having trouble understanding why I need my own space, I will explain it again, but I don't pick up. I don't pick up their stuff. Be very careful that you're not picking up other people's stuff, because when we pick other people's stuff up, we're carrying guilt. We're carrying a whole bunch of things that grow, right? So when we carry guilt grows. Guilt grows, and it can grow into resentment. It can grow into frustration, agitation. It can grow. Be careful what you pick up. I always say that. Don't pick up what's not yours. All right. All right. My boyfriend's cat. What's going on with this boyfriend's cat? She's been acting differently. Moody, kind of strange. Let me just have a lean in there. I don't feel a health issue with the cat. Now, what I always say is, the cat's not in front of me to go a little bit deeper on this, but I don't feel that the cat's got anything health going on. I think, though, that if you have concerns, always see your vet. Because I'm not a vet and I'm not a doctor, and I'm very clear on that. But I don't feel that there's anything health. I don't feel sick anywhere in my body. Animals are sensitive to energy too. So my question to you, Easy Puff, is how long has this been going on? Because energetically cats can be empaths as well. Is there anything going on with your boyfriend? I need to lean into your boyfriend. Has he been worried a lot lately? Or has there been something going on in his world? You don't have to share what it is, but I feel like the cat is absorbing somebody else's problem. So is there somebody else that lives with the cat or that's around the cat full time or a lot that's been going through something? Because I feel this cat absorbing energy. So what can you do to make her feel better? Well, I like to cleanse my space. I don't, and there's a lot of ways you can clear energy out of a home that is safe to pets, even if it's just opening up your windows and letting energy out. Remember, just letting energy out. I need to move all the energy. I also have to just talk about I don't know if there's a lot of busyness in this house, but something's changed energetically in the house for me with this cat. So when I tap into the cat keeps pushing me into the living space. So I feel like there's something with the living space that's changed. Animals are big empaths. Cats are extremely sensitive, very sensitive. If you look at the history of cats, they've got quite a history with mediums, and in ancient times, and they are energy workers. So I'm really pushed into that. Romania, she took a look at our cat. She took our cat to the vet. He got mad and grabbed her arm. Now it's all red and puffy. I know if that's mom's arm. Okay. I'm just going to wait for Easy Puff to comment on that. Sandra, I hope you have a great day. I understand you got to jump off. Jen, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much for coming on live and making time to speak to us. We appreciate your time. Oh, thank you so much, Kayla. That's beautiful. Okay, so here we go. It's been a long while for sure. His world is stressed to the max. There it is. He mainly lives with me, so we barely see him because his mom hasn't wanted me around, and his dad died not too long ago. Okay, Easy Puff, there it is. So remember when I said when I was leaning into the cat kept pushing me into the living. So there's what's going on. There's a lot going on in your world and in that cat's world. And even though the cat may not be around all of it, you're around some of it, and your boyfriend's around some of it. So that is the, and you even used it. His world is stressful to the max. That's why the cat was pushing me out of his physical body. It's not the physical body, it's energy. So, what I would strongly suggest doing is decreasing the vibration of stress, cleansing the space a little bit in a safe way for animals. There are some things that aren't safe for animals, like some aromatherapy stuff isn't safe. A lot of animals don't like burning. So if the cat's around, and you might not want to burn, depending on the cats. Egyptians worship cats. Yeah, yeah, and a lot of a lot of mediums and spiritual people have used cats as as their as a workmate. I'll use the word familiar. That's an expansive word. But cats are very, very in tuned. And when I do animal communication with cats are the most interesting to talk to. They can also be they can be a little bit difficult to talk to as well. They're a little bit private, and they are not always open up to just anybody that speaks to them either, which is very interesting with cats. Okay, so let's see. Hard freckles. Please don't feel pressure to answer if you don't have time. I've been a bit of a nut for a while now and not feeling myself. Just wondering if you have any words for me. Hard freckles. When I got a lot of hard freckles too, but anyway, when I lean into your energy, what I feel like you're getting pushed into new directions within yourself. I feel like there's just been this shift within you, and it feels like some spiritual growth. I feel like you're going to be moving into a new version of yourself, but I feel like a part of you is holding on to the old version of yourself. So I feel like they're giving you permission to let go. Let go of let go of past versions of yourself and the lessons. I feel like I just feel so heavy in my shoulders. Like I literally feel like I've got like 100-pound backpack on. I feel that there's like the spirit dimensions are kind of like pushing you. I've got one of your spirit guides coming through with like hands on your back, kind of pushing you forward in that forward momentum. And I kind of feel you leaning a little bit with some resistance. I think that some spiritual growth is coming your way, and deeper into spiritual growth is coming your way. And it feels quite light and quite beautiful and quite bright as you start navigating through that. All right. So, good. I hope that resonates with you. Cats are easy to communicate with, just like horses. Those two seem incredibly sensitive to energy. The cat is likely just overstimulated. The best would be if I could play a lot. Cats are like balloons. They collect energy, and they have to get rid of somehow. Cats are empaths. So the energy the cats are empaths. So I would definitely do some cleansing. I would definitely kind of quiet the vibration around that cat. All right. I have had a great time. I am going to try and come on a couple more times this week and hang out and chit chat with you all. And I'm grateful that you were patient with me with my technology issues. You were also patient with me, and I love it. I'm grateful. And I can't send you more love and light than I possibly can. So I am wishing you all love, light, blessings, and a spirit guided day. Bye, everybody.